I am responsible. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. Jim Rohn, who is known as one of America's foremost business philosophers, says you must take personal responsibility for everything that happens in your life. Everything. You cannot change the circumstances, you cannot change the seasons, you cannot change the wind, but you can change yourself. Jack Canfield, and I believe he says, and I believe he's right, that I am responsible, and so are you. That's responsible for the quality of our lives. He makes that statement in his 2005 bestseller, The Success Principle. Good book, well worth reading. I first encountered some of these ideas associated with this philosophy in 1967 in Fort Worth, Texas, when I took a Dale Carnegie course. And at that time, and I suspect it's still true, Dale Carnegie emphasized the fact, never criticize, condemn, or complain. That's never criticize, condemn, or complain. At that point in my life, I had almost 20 years in the rather rigid culture of the United States Marine Corps. And I just could not accept this never criticize, condemn, or complain. I had the idea that we had to, if something went wrong, we had to find out if we could how this happened and make this person wish it hadn't happened and thereby avoid future occurrences of that type. I remember thinking that may work fine in the civilian world, but it's not any good in the United States Marine Corps. In retrospect, I have come to recognize that I could have accomplished so much more, even in the Marine Corps, by not criticizing, condemning, or complaining. That I could have engendered so much better morale in the people who worked for me without criticizing them. And if you think about it for just a little bit, do we really accomplish anything by criticizing people? Even when it's done tactfully in private, it still is painful, it's a stinging rebuke, and it leaves wounds that may take a long time to heal. It really assumes that the person who caused this problem intended to do it. And I don't think that most people intend to do the wrong things they do. It's a mistake, perhaps, but not intentional. The reality is most people would like to be applauded for their work and maybe earn a promotion. I believe that it logically follows they like to be complimented, and it logically follows they like to earn that compliment. In the 1 Minute Manager, co-authored by Ken Blanchard and Spencer Johnson, they suggest that you take the people who work for you and in training ensure that they understand exactly what they're going to be accountable for and that they understand what good performance looks like. Then, according to them, watch them carefully and find an opportunity when you can praise them, give them a 1-minute public praise session for having done a good job at something. Watch them until they find them doing something really good, really right. Often, as supervisors, we tend to look for mistakes instead of looking for good performance. And we tend to be too critical. So I think this is worth considering. Here's a challenge for you. Resolve not to criticize, condemn, or complain about anything for 24 hours, starting right now. Don't criticize, condemn, or complain about anything for the next 24 hours. Doesn't matter what it is, doesn't matter who caused the problem, doesn't matter how it affects your life. You must not criticize, condemn, or complain. In fact, you must accept total responsibility for every problem that comes your way. It's a new idea for most people. If you've never tried this before, and if you do it, you probably will discover how truly negative and critical you really are. For me, this is, I dismissed it in 1967. It just wasn't practical. But in recent times, I have begun to try to do it, and I've done it for several months. I renew it every morning. I still have not gone through 24 hours without criticizing, complaining about something. I just can't get it done. But I am getting a little bit better every day, just a little bit better. So it's well worth doing. If you haven't, the complete challenge really is to take full responsibility for everything that happens in your life, and to never criticize, condemn, or complain. Never. Monitor your results daily, every evening. Take a look at how the day went. And you'll remember when you start criticizing, oh, I did it again. It'll come to you at that point. You probably will not have immediate results, but over time, I can guarantee you, your life will improve, and you'll live a better, and you'll have a more productive life, and your people will be more productive, people working for you. I guarantee it. Now, this philosophy is difficult to accept. We've been conditioned all our lives to blame something on somebody else or on something else, but anything that happens in our lives which is unpleasant, which we would prefer was not present there. If you remember only one thing from this talk this evening, nothing more. If you remember what I'm going to say next in closing, I will achieve my purpose. It matters not what happens in your life. Much of it will not be fair. There's only one person, though, who's responsible for the quality of your life, and that person is you. Mr. Toastmaster.